Hi, this week's parash is Parashat Tazria. In this week's 2-minute discussion, we are going to once again dispel a common misconception when it comes to this week's parasha. In general, when people approach this week's parasha, they see a discussion of leprosy, and assume that the laws that follow are simply a way of dealing with such an infection. Rav Shimshon Rafael Hirsch explains that if we have even a basic understanding of the laws that govern the idea of tzoras, we know this cannot possibly be the case. To take a few examples. During the times of the regalim, the holidays, all examinations of tzoras were suspended. If this was an infectious disease, that would be the time that you would be inspecting for such a disease. Another idea, if a person was found with tzoras, first thing that would be done was to remove all the items from his house. Once again, if we are worried about a spread of infection, that would be foolish. Rav Hirsch explains that this is obviously not the case. So, if that is not what tzoras is not leprosy, tzoras is not a disease, what is it? Rav Hirsch explains that true, we may not have it today, but in times of the Jewish people in the desert and in the temple period, it was a sort of a signal from God that a person was being singled out for social sins. Sinning in a social way, arrogance, slander. This was a way of God telling the person slowly, by different levels of extremity, that he was missing in some act, in some way of relating to his fellow. In terms of slander, in terms of arrogance. So, to recap, we are not talking about some sort of general idea of leprosy. We're talking about a very specific sort of a divine indicator that a person is lacking severely in a social area. A man who has given his body to act with justice and act with truth is using it for slander, for arrogance, for lies. This isn't the Jewish way. And this was a way a man was told to work on these areas. Thank you very much for listening and have a wonderful Shabbos.